I'm really proud of what Daryl and I created together, Oates said on David Yontef's Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. John Oates says he's moved on amid his ongoing legal battle with Daryl Hall. In Wednesday's episode of David Yontef's Behind the Velvet Rope podcast, the Hall and Oates musician, 75, reflected on the impact of his work with Hall, 77. You can't ignore the fact that the Hall and Oates catalog of hits and the 50-year career will always trump almost anything that Daryl does on his own or I do on my own, which is okay because I'm very proud of that music, Oates said on the podcast. I'm really proud of what Daryl and I created together. I think we made music that will stand the test of time. He added, I don't like to live in the past. I make the analogy of what it's like when you go to a great museum and you're really excited to go and see all the beautiful paintings or the exhibits or whatever it might be, and then near the end, your feet start to hurt and you say, you know what? I can't wait to get out of here. That's kind of how I feel about it. The duo, which formed in Philadelphia in 1970, had no time for reflection at the height of their career, Oates recalled. It was a lot of business demands, a lot of heavy demands. Daryl and I were at the top of the pop world. We had #1 record after #1 record. We were traveling around the world constantly. Everyone thinks that was probably the high point of my life, but to be honest with you, it actually wasn't my favorite time, he said. He continued, I have moved on. It's just a matter of living in my present. The You Make My Dreams artists have been embroiled in a legal battle since last month. Hall filed a lawsuit against Oates in order to stop Oates' alleged plans to sell his share of a joint business venture to a third party, which Hall argues would be a violation of a business agreement previously reached by the pair, per the complaint obtained by People. The musicians entered into an agreement in October 2021 over Hall Oates Enterprises LLP, WOE, a limited liability partnership owned and controlled by the musicians, according to the complaint. However, on November 9, Hall initiated an arbitration process against Oates to prevent his bandmate from transferring 100% of his right, title, and interest in Hall Oates to a third-party buyer called Primary Wave Music without Hall's consent, a transaction he claims is unauthorized and void and a breach of contract. Hall alleges that Oates had entered into a letter of intent with Primary Wave that could have closed as early as November 20, and Hall argued that the sale would cause him imminent irreparable harm. No arbitrator had been chosen when Hall's court complaint was filed on November 16, leaving him unable to pursue his pending request in the arbitration for temporary injunctive relief in the manner requested. In the documents, Hall claimed that he sought the restraining order against Oates, which was granted the next day, in order to close the Primary Wave transaction so as to maintain the status quo of WOE before there is a change in control of the partnership in violation of the terms of the agreement. According to the Associated Press, Primary Wave has already owned significant interest in the Grammy-nominated musician's song catalog for more than 15 years. Hall's attorneys said much of the matter should remain under seal because it is a private dispute. This is not a matter of legitimate public interest, although the parties are well known. His legal team noted that the dispute addresses the interpretation of the 2021 agreement, the terms of which remain confidential. The case will ultimately be decided in a confidential arbitration process.